Archbishop Richard Foskin here, trying to do this for a third time. Satan keeps stopping me. Here we go. The Lord is leading me now. Leviticus chapter 9. The priests begin their ministry. And it came to pass on the 8th day that Moses called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. And he said unto Aaron, Take thee a young calf and a sin offering and a ram for a burnt offering without blemish, and offer them before the Lord. Sounds like the Lord's going to be there then. And unto the children of Israel thou shalt speak, saying, Take ye a kid of the goats for a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both of the first year, without blemish, for a burnt offering. Now I'm talking quietly because it's people and it's like 3 in the morning upstairs. Who are the children of Israel? Well, they're the ones with childlike faith, I guess. They believed anything they were told and indoctrinated into doing. So, also a bullock and a ram for peace offerings to sacrifice before the Lord. They're going to do this before the Lord. A bullock and a ram for peace offerings, because you wouldn't want to make the Lord angry. It's nothing about love here, you'll see. And a meat offering mingled with oil. A meat offering mingled with oil. I'm going to add some oil to it. For today the Lord will appear to you. He's going to appear to them. And they brought that which Moses commanded before the tabernacle of the congregation. And all the congregation drew near and stood before the Lord. They're going to stand before the Lord. And Moses said, This is the thing that the Lord commanded that ye should do, Moses said. And the glory of the Lord shall appear unto you. They believed them. And Moses said unto Aaron, Go unto the altar, offer the sin offering, and they burnt thy burnt offering, and make an atonement for thyself and for the people, and offer for the people, and make an atonement for them as the Lord commanded. Because the people couldn't ask forgiveness to God themselves. They had to have a special guy that Moses put in charge to handle their sins. Kind of sounds like a crude Catholic religion almost. Yeah. So, and it has to do a lot with blood. So here we go here. As the Lord commanded. Yes. Aaron went. He went into the altar, therefore he went on the altar and slew the calf, killed it, smote it, and calf of the sin offering, which was for himself, and the sons of Aaron brought the blood unto him. Hey, we got the blood we drained for the animal for you. You want it, right? Thank you for draining the blood for the animal. Yes, I need that. So he dipped his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the altar. There were horns on each corner of the altar. He brought the blood onto him, dipped his finger in the blood, put it upon the horns of the altar, and poured out the blood. And not a little bowl like this, a big bowl of blood. He poured out the blood at the bottom of the altar from this drained blood and lifeless animal that they just killed. Remember, the whole congregation is there watching. So, and then he put the fat and the kidneys and the gall above the liver of the sin offering he burnt upon the altar as the Lord commanded. So he cooked it. He burned it for how long, I don't know. And the flesh and the hide he burnt with fire outside the camp. And he slew the burnt offering, and Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood. And they sprinkled that round about there. They dipped it that time and shook blood around the altar. They already dumped a bowl around it. Now they're shaking blood around it. You can see they must have had special boots or bonnets on, some kind of galoshes to keep the blood from getting on their feet, priest boots or something. Must have been pretty messy. And sprinkled around about the altar, and he presented the burnt offering unto him with the pieces thereof and the head. They took the head of the burnt offering, and he burnt that too upon the altar. And he did wash the inwards of the legs and burnt them upon the burnt offering on the altar. I remember there's blood dumped all around the bottom of this while they're burning things. Could you imagine that? And then he brought the people's offering and took the goat. Now he got a goat, which was the sin offering for the people. And he slew it, killed it, smited it, and he offered it for sin. This is for your sins. And I guess they just stood all around. Yeah. Kill that thing for me. And he brought the burnt offering, offered it according to the manner. And he brought the meat offering, and took a handful of meat thereof, and burned it upon the altar. Put some meat on there and burn that too now. I don't know what kind it was. They just burnt, probably goat's meat. And offered it in the same manner. A handful of meat, burned it on the altar besides the burnt offering of the morning. He slew also the bullock, big bull, and the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings, because you wouldn't want to make the Lord angry. You just wouldn't make it. No. And sacrifice peace, which was for the people. And Aaron's sons presented unto him the blood. Here's the blood. No, it was a much bigger bowl than this. We got the blood, drained that out for you too. And he sprinkled that upon the altar and round about, on it and round about. And the fat of the bullock and the ram and the rump. He even took the butt of the animal. Fat, the ram, the rump, which covered the inwards, the guts, and the kidneys, and the gall above the liver. And he put the fat upon the breasts. He didn't do that last time. Now he's going to put the fat on breasts, and he burnt the fat upon the altar. So he wanted the fat to be burnt on top of the breasts for some reason. And the breast and the right shoulder of Aaron waved for a wave offering before the Lord. Look, God, we killed it for you and burned it just like you wanted. And we drained the blood and we shook it all over the place. And we even dumped the whole bowl around it before we cooked it. Yes, folks, this is where the candy-coated blood guilt cult comes from. Whether you like it or not, do your own reading for and by yourself. Let's continue here. Yes. Aaron lifted up his hand toward the people now. First it was God. Now he's lifting his up towards the people. And remember, his hand's all bloody, okay? He's got a wave offering with breast, and he's put fat on there. There's no place to wash their hands, folks. They're cutting this stuff, slaying stuff, holding up, waving it to God. Now he's waving his hand to the people, blessing them with blood all over and fat and grease. He blessed them, came down from the offering and the sin offering and the burnt offering and the peace offering. And Moses and Aaron went into the tabernacle. Doesn't that sound nice? I mean, you've been indoctrinated into hearing that word. The tabernacle. It's a nice place. It's like a log cabin that you're having a good time in, the tabernacle. Yes, Moses and Aaron went into the tabernacle and the congregation and came out after they got more orders. They came out and blessed the people. How? I don't know. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the people. They probably did, just like the politicians. The Lord is going to bless you. And the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the people when they blessed the people. How did that happen? Let's find out. Leviticus 9, the last verse, 24. And there came a fire out before the Lord and consumed upon the altar the burnt offerings and the fat, which when all the people saw it, they shouted and fell on their faces. Sounds like a satanic blood guilt cult to me. What do you think? Now, I know you're going to run to your apologists and get all the answers from them, but when you read this by yourself, honestly, and you go back in time to what people were like back in time, and even some of the cults today in jungles, it's pretty much the same thing. They shake chicken blood on things. Here, they used what they had. They were farmers back here. There you go. Now, that must have been scary because God didn't come to them and say, come as you are, walk down the aisle and ask me into your heart. I take you as a... No, no. This Lord wanted a bloody sacrifice. Whoever this Lord, monster. This is a monster. And he consumed all of the blood guilt cult that they put on the oil, fat, and everything on the altar, that they dumped blood around and shook blood around like madmen, indoctrinated madmen. And when all the people saw it, he consumed upon the altar the burnt. I mean, this, could you imagine this fire coming down and sucking up all this blood guilt cult that you just put out for this monster being so it doesn't hurt you? And they saw that, they shouted. Whatever they shouted, I don't know, but it must have been fearful. And they fell on their faces. There's nothing about love here. Oh, I love him. No, this is fear. They shouted and fell on their faces. Chapter 10, we'll go into this a little bit. Leviticus 10, the strange fire of Nadab and Abihu, the sons of Aaron, took either of them his censer. It's like a rod, special staff. They put fire therein and put incense therein. Fire and incense. They thought they were doing good. They offered the strange fire before the Lord. They thought they were doing good. Maybe this will be a good thing to... After they were just scared to death here, I mean, they were doing what normal people would have done. Jeez, let's do something cool for this thing so it doesn't hurt us. But what happened? So they put fire in the censer and put the fire therein, and strange fire before the Lord, which he commanded them not. He didn't ask them to do it. And this is the excuse you're going to get from your apologists when people are just being people. The Lord, and there went out fire from the Lord and devoured them, and they died before the Lord. He consumed them like fire, but their bodies were still there with their clothes on it. You'll read that down here. Then Moses said unto Aaron, because these were Aaron's sons. First thing Moses did was say, this is it, and it is italicized. This is it that the Lord spake, saying, I will be sanctified in them that come nigh me. Before all the people, I will be glorified. Yeah, he just burnt up these two kids. Kids, adolescents, whatever. Sons of Aaron. And Aaron held his peace. He held his peace because he was scared to death of what would happen to him. That's why he held his peace. And Moses called Mishael and Elzaphan and the sons of Israel and the uncle of Aaron, and said unto them, come near, carry your brethren from the sanctuary out of the camp. Took their dead bodies out of the camp that God consumed with fire because they put the wrong incense in at the wrong time. Something like that. So they went near and they carried them in their coats. The very coats we read yesterday in chapter 8. Special, blood sprinkled, splattered all over, oil splattered all over. They're special coats. They're special bonnets and their special girdles. They took them out. They were burned up and they had blood and everything burnt right into them. They went near, carried them in their coats out of camp, as Moses had said. You better believe him. And Moses said unto Aaron and unto, get this, and Eleazar and unto Ithamar his sons, uncover not your heads, neither rent your clothes. That means that's what when people died, they did things to themselves like to show that they're sad. No, you ain't allowed to do that. Don't uncover your heads. Don't rent your clothes, lest ye die, and lest wrath come upon all the people. From the Lord, of course. But let your brethren, the whole house of Israel, bewail the burning of the Lord hath kindled. Let everybody else feel bad about your sons getting killed, what God did. But you're not allowed to You're not allowed to feel bad about it. Because you're the priest. You're God's holy priests, in other words. And you shall not go out from the door. How much wailing will people that aren't even your real relatives going to wail about your kids dying, huh? Idiots. And you shall not go out the door of the tabernacle. You got priest work to do. You got to stay in there. You shall not go out of the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. Yeah, the Lord's going to fry you. For the anointing oil of the Lord is upon you. Yeah, it was on them too while they were wearing their jackets, and he burnt them up. So what do you think he'll do to Aaron? He'll burn you up the same way. This is a monster. This is a satanic monster. And they did as according to the word of Moses. Of course they did. Yeah, for the anointing oil of the Lord is on you. And they did according to the words of Moses. Because they were scared of what Moses was creepy. He was like the top evil satanic wizard or something. And the Lord spake unto Aaron, saying, oh, now the Lord is actually, this is the first time the Lord is speaking to Aaron. The Lord spoke to Aaron, do not drink wine nor strong drink, thou nor thy sons with thee. Because he had other sons, okay? You'll see that later on. When ye go into the tabernacle of the congregation, lest ye die. Cure alcoholism real fast, wouldn't it? God'll kill you. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations. You know, your generations are going to know about this. That ye may put difference between holy and unholy, and between unclean and clean, and that ye may teach the children of Israel all the statutes the Lord hath spoken unto them by the hand of Moses. And Moses spake unto Aaron and unto Eleazar and Ithamar, his sons that were left. That was his remaining sons. Take a meat offering that remaineth of the offerings of the Lord made by fire, and eat it without leaven beside the altar, for it is the most holy. And you shall eat it in the holy place, because it is thy due. The son's due, and the sacrifices of the Lord made by fire. So I am commanded. And the wave breast and the heavy shoulder shall ye eat in the clean place, thou and thy sons that are left, and thy daughters with thee, for they be thy due. And thy sons due, which are given out of the sacrifices in peace offerings. You don't want God to get you, do you? The peace offerings the Lord made by fire, for so I am commanded. And the wave breast and the heavy shoulder shall he eat in the clean place, and thy sons peace offerings of the children of Israel. The heavy shoulder and the wave breast shall they bring with the offerings made by fire of the fat to wave it. Wave it. Wave offering before the Lord. We did. Don't hurt us. We're waving the beef shoulder, the heavy shoulder. This is called the heave shoulder. The heave. Please, God, take. Don't kill us. Hold me up. Call me a blasphemer? You people are idiots. Who believe in this stuff is your loving creator. It's candy-coated blood guilt cult. It wasn't even candy-coated here. These just people were so scared they did what they were told. The heavy wave by the statute forever. It will be thine, and thy sons with thee, as a statute forever. Sounds like superstitious sacrifice. You're making deals with the devil here. And you call it Jesus. Ain't no Jesus back here. And the Moses diligently, by the statute, as the Lord hath commanded. Who is this Lord? You never see him. He's a consuming fire. Well, that's what it says in the Bible. Yeah, and that's your Satan here. There's no love here. This thing is evil. And Moses diligently sought the goat and the sin offering. This thing wanted you to kill things for it. It enjoyed watching. Don't you get it? The goat, Moses diligently sawed the goat of the sin offering, and behold, it was burnt, just like God wanted. Oh, no, the Lord. Doesn't say God one time here. Oh, God's coming up now near the end. He was angry with Ethanar, the sons of Aaron, which were left alive, saying, Wherefore have ye not eaten the sin offering in the holy place, seeing it is the Most High, and God hath given it to you to bear the iniquity for the congregation, to make an atonement for them before the Lord? Behold, the blood of it was not brought in within the holy place. Ye should have eaten it in the holy place, as I commanded, Moses said. And Aaron said unto Moses, Behold, this day have they offered their sin offering and their burnt offering before the Lord, and such things have befallen me. And if I have eaten the sin offering today, shall it not have been accepted in the sight of the Lord? And when Moses heard that, he was content. In other words, Aaron's saying, I did as much as I could. Can't you see all this shit that just happened to me? My sons just got sucked up by fire from God. We took them out of camp in their very priest clothes. I ate the food on time, not exactly where you wanted. What else do you want me to do? I did it the day he said to do it. And Moses heard that and he was content. That's a rare occasion for Moses to sound content. But was he? Was he really? We'll see that in chapter 11 in Leviticus. We'll see what happens. All this satanic blood worship. Archbishop out. To hell with you.